and faucet and replacing it. And so the first part of that is to disconnect the old sink and faucet. As you can see, we have a disposal here. The other side is just your regular drain with the trap. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to get this disposal disconnected so that we can pull it down. Now, the disposal is going right back up in the other sink. It'll connect right back to the other sink that we're going to put in, so I don't need to disconnect the wire or even the dishwasher. So all I need to do is get this the actual drain disconnected from it. Both of these other pieces are flexible enough so that you don't have to disconnect them, just enough to drop this down. So the first thing you want to do is you want to loosen this this fitting here, just to give this pipe a little bit of play. You notice that you've got these bolts here that hold the seal for this piece. Now normally you can just use a screwdriver. Mine are really tight for some reason, so I'm having to kind of break them loose with this wrench. There's one on the front right there, and you've got another one on the back side. Just do the same thing with that one. Just pop it loose, and then you should be able to go back with your screwdriver to finish getting these things off. And once they're broken loose, you may even be able just to use your hand to get those unscrewed. And once you have both of those off, this slides out. This just rubber piece holds there, and kind of twist it and pull it back, and just get a little bit of space between the pipe and your disposal. Next part is turning this piece counterclockwise. You got to use one hand to hold this, use the other hand to spin this metal ring. That disposal just drops right down. I'm just going to leave it there while I continue to take apart the rest of the stuff under the sink. I'm going to need this bracket, so we need to unscrew this nut, plastic nut here, and to do that, usually a pretty big pair of channel locks. And this is where it all went downhill. That plastic bracket right there disintegrated when I tried to take it apart. So what I had to do was I actually had to order another one of these parts and wait for it to be delivered before I could actually install the disposal. So until then, what I did was I installed another basket on the other side of the sink and then took that back out once the disposal bracket came in. All right, once you have your disposal bracket removed, next you want to take apart your other side, basket strainer side. Just pop that loose. That completely disconnects the drain from the sink. And you don't have to take the basket strainer out if you don't need it for the new sink. You can just leave that connected to the sink. It's not going to get any in the way of anything. Next thing is you want to disconnect your water lines. I've gone ahead and disconnected or turned off the water, and I opened my faucet to make sure that water was off. This one's for my dishwasher. This is the hot side for my faucet. I'm gonna have a little bit of water come out of this use a bucket. I've just got a towel down there. It's not going to be a lot of water. So I'm just going to let it run out onto that towel. Pop it out. Do the other one. Then the last thing that you want to do is, you can see right up here, there's a little clamp that's holding the sink in. There's another one down there on the other side. And then other than that, for this sink, it's just the caulk that they put in. So I gotta pull these clamps, just unscrew the little nut there that you see, and then I'll run a razor blade around the inside, the underside of the sink from up above, and then the whole thing will just lift right out. All right, I have cut around the edge. Just slide a razor knife up under it, like so. Just run it along the whole side, and before I even got all the way around, it popped loose, and it's ready to come out now. So basically, just straight up the hole, just like so. Now, the next step is you want to have a clean surface for your next sink to connect to. I've found that just using a regular wood chisel, you can usually get that old silicone right off. The old caulk, get it right off with that. And then you can actually come back with just a paper towel and some cleaner, and clean it up really nice. So your new sink will stick really well, and hold the new sink down. So the next step is I'm going to put a bead of caulk right around the front here, all the way around the sides and around the back. And then we just set the new sink right on top of that. Alright, got the sink in place. Make sure it's equal distance from the front all the way down. Then you just use your finger and smear up the extra. Make sure you get plenty in all of the cracks all the way around. You don't want any water getting underneath that lip. So what I usually do is I'll come around and smear it, make sure it's real good in all the cracks all the way around, and then I'll come back with I'll wet my finger once I get the whole sink and faucet, everything hooked up. I'll wet my finger and use a paper towel and kind of go and clean everything back up. Once I have everything sealed off really well, just to make sure that you got a real good seal all the way around it, because obviously you're going to have water around your sink. So this project didn't go like I wanted it to. With that collar that broke for the disposal, I wasn't able to finish it all in one night, and a sink replacement is a very, very simple project. But after I got the part in, I was able to get it installed, and my sink was back to normal. So basically, the steps past where I stopped filming because I was frustrated with the whole thing. You just simply hook the water back up, just the opposite of the way that you took it out. The drain goes back together in, again, just the opposite way that you took it out. And as long as your disposal bracket doesn't disintegrate on you, it should be a fairly simple project. So good luck with your home projects, and like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and have a great rest of your day.